Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. We are here for Beard on King. This is episode 7. We are going to talk about the film The Shining. In my opinion, it is a masterpiece. It is a 5-star movie. I know that's not always going to be a popular opinion, but Chad Lutsky agrees with me, and that's what's important. But I love the movie, and it is a rare situation where I like the movie better than better than the book. I wouldn't like the movie better than the film. I like the movie better than the book. I think everything that Kubrick added to it made it better. I think that, and it's just one of those situations where, again, you get pollution from the movie polluting the book. But there are things about this story, about The Shining, iconic images, iconic things that are solely from the movie. And in my mind, they are superimposed over the book. Like you think these things exist. You think that they existed in the book, and they do not. And some of these are just images, little pieces of story, but some of them are major things. One thing that there are things I like better about the book than I like about the movie, but there are not a lot of things that I like better about the book. So this is episode 7. Episode 6 was a reread of the book. The Shining. Episode 7 is the movie. There are differences from the very, very beginning. Ullman, the hotel manager, is not a dick. In the book, he is an absolute dick, and it talks about it throughout. The way that Jack Torrance feels about this guy. The dog's gonna bark. But it's not that way in the movie. I mean, he is a pleasant man. We meet him. He shows us around, gives us the tour, and he's off. And we're, stranded there on our own with Wendy and Danny. And that's kind of it. There's no other major part that he really plays. So he is not a dick, But, we kind of sink, very, very. I mean, it's a movie. I think it's short of 3 hours. I know that much. But we watch Jack's descent into madness. His descent into abusive behavior. His relationship with the hotel, with the ghost of the hotel, and with what they are trying to accomplish, which is ultimately get Danny, kill Danny, keep Danny's essence there in the hotel. So the hotel is gorgeous. The scenery in and around the place is gorgeous. The drive up to the place at the beginning, we're driving up through the mountains. I mean, it really puts an idea, or it really firmly sets that remoteness, that idea of wilderness, being stuck out here into your head on that drive up, and so you've got all that stuff. But again, the ghost in the hotel, we see much more from that. I mean, the two little girls. Solely in the movie, not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that we had the previous caretaker that had killed his family, and there's a scene in the book where Danny sees like the blood splashed walls, and he sees things, but he does not see these two little twin girls talking to him. Play with us, Danny. That type of stuff. So that part, love it about the movie. Of course, the elevator of blood, love it, love the blood splash scene, just iconic images. One scene that I really liked, that I didn't really know that I really liked, is, hold on for a second, sorry about that. Is There's one scene where Wendy and Danny are outside playing, and Jack is inside the hotel looking out the windows at them, and just his facial expression. Jack Nicholson's facial expressions in this movie are just wonderful. I mean, his body language, but his face. I mean, and it's not necessarily the crazy parts where he's like, not necessarily the part where he's looking through the bathroom door. Here's Johnny. It's the more subtle stuff. It's his facial expressions that show his descent into madness that I liked. I mean, this is this is the fine line between Jack and what we're turning into, and I loved that scene. The maze does not exist in the book. It plays a very very major role in the movie. I love the maze, love hedge mazes, the whole idea of it, the model of it in the lobby. Love that stuff. Of course, the carpeting, that iconic carpeting that's now been turned into ties and throw blankets and everything you can imagine. Love it. There's just so much. The scene with Delbert, is it Delbert? I think it's Delbert. And Jack in the red and white bathroom off the ballroom. Love that scene. I love it. Just so much. I mean, just the imagery and all of that stuff in the movie is just wonderful. Now, of course, in the movie, you do not get a lot of that build up, a lot of that backstory on Jack and the fact that that just his history, like what he is bringing with him to the hotel. You do not get a lot of that. Wendy, Shelley Duvall as Wendy is phenomenal. Again, it's different than it's written in the book. In the book, she's written as having blonde hair and having like movie star quality beauty. But Shelley just, like her facial expressions, her screams, the horror the horror in her eyes, her face that she brings to this movie, I just absolutely love it. The cool thing about Danny, though, the kid that plays Danny Torrance actually is a college professor here in Kentucky, and my wife works for the KCTCS, Kentucky Community and Technical College System, and they actually work in the same system. He works in Western Kentucky, of course. We're in like Northeastern Kentucky, but he is a biology or a science professor, and I guess every year, the first day of class, they get one day to ask any questions that they want to ask, and then we got to put the shining away. But I found that super cool. His name is Danny Lloyd, and he works at a community college here in Kentucky. I found that really interesting and just a coincidence, right? But the cast is great. The guy that plays Holleran. Oh man, I can't remember his name. I should have been better prepared for this, but he's great. Another thing I liked is that the guy that works at the auto shop or whatever to put chains on your tires and whatnot, like halfway up the mountain, is the trainer from Rocky. It's Apollo Creed's trainer, and he's just got a brief part in the movie, but I thought that was cool as well. Just a lot of stuff. The imagery is awesome. The hotel is awesome. Again, the Overlook Hotel is one of my favorite settings of all time, but again, I think most of that comes from the movie, not from the book. But one major difference, another major difference, is that in the book, Jack at the end kind of wins. He kind of, the love of a father for a son somewhat wins. He chooses not to beat Danny to death with that roque mallet, and in this one, there is not a shift like that. Jack descends into madness and he remains there, and it is his desire he is going to kill his family. I mean, unless something happens. He never makes that shift. He never clings on to that last bit of his fatherhood, that last bit of his humanity. The boiler does not play the role in the movie that it does in the book. We do see it. We do see Wendy actually down there messing with it, because they're supposed to heat different parts of the hotel on different days. We see her down there messing with it, but it does not play the role that it plays in the book. Another thing, man, what is the guy's name? Halloran, Dick Halloran. That's one thing I liked, I guess, less about the movie. Again, it's a shorter medium, right? But it feels like his ending, what happened with him, like him driving all the way up there just to, and don't get me wrong, I know that he played a role. I know that had he not been there, Jack would have never left Wendy at that bathroom scene. It never would have, she never would have escaped that. But the fact that he drove all the way up there just to take I mean, look, I'm assuming you've seen the movie or whatever, but just to take an axe to the chest, that was some cold shit. So, and then the ending scene with Jack, what happens to him, the iconic scene of him in the hedge maze, frozen. That's a cool scene too. I like the way the movie, really focused more on his writing. The scenes where, when I'm in here typing, you don't disturb me, things like that. And then the scene, of course, where she discovers that he's written hundreds of pages of all work and no play. I mean, just a killer horror scene. So I loved it. The movie is in my top 5 movies of all time. I mean, it may be my favorite horror movie of all time. And don't get me wrong. Look, I know I run in this horror circle, but I'm not really a horror movie junkie. I don't really go in for the campy, slasher stuff. It's just not really my cup. I'm more of a book person that has kind of rolled into mainly horror book thing. I love the damn movie. I mean, talk about taking source material and making it better. In my opinion, 100% does. A thing that exists in the book and not the movie, the hedge animals. And the hedge animals, for me, I had a hard time believing them as this like real threat, right? So, I mean, I loved that they were left out. I love that we got a hedge maze instead of hedge animals. Love that part. But anyway, that's it. I've talked for almost 12 minutes. One of my favorite movies of all time, top 5 easily. Love it. Love what Kubrick did with it. I think I'm getting repetitive now, but the book, I enjoyed the book as well. But the book on a second read and with pollution from the movie, I liked it a lot less. Like I think I'm getting that morning glare in. I think that I mean, while I would have told you before this reread and rewatch that the book was my favorite Stephen King book of all time, I'm not there anymore. Like I'm only giving the book 3 stars. So anyway, this is Well Read Beard. It's my opinion. Beard on King. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books. All of them as much as I am, but yeah, definitely. I mean, reread the book, see what you think. Rewatch the movie, see what you think. Look, I'm a book guy and I love to hold these things here. No, the film is not better. Ever the film was not better. In this case, it was, in my opinion. Well Read Beard, Beard on King. I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.